So I wanted to rank the greatest WWE champions from 2009 to 2019 as an experiment. Before we get into this, let me know down in the comments area below, what do you think is the greatest WWE champion of this time period, and would you like to see more of this content? Let's get into the list. Start off with this bottom row right here. We have The Miz. I'm going to put him as bad, and here's why. He was never ever supposed to be WWE Champion. They tried to force him to be WWE Champion in 2010. He headlined WrestleMania with John Cena and beat John Cena, suffered a concussion in that match. But really, it was because they were trying to set up The Rock and John Cena at the next two WrestleMania. So I'm going to put him as bad. Rey Mysterio, he was okay during this time period. He was dealing with a lot of injuries at this time. Wasn't peak Rey Mysterio's, not even Rey Mysterio what he is right now. But he was okay. If you recall, he feuded with John Cena that night that CM Punk made his return. So, but there's that. Sheamus. Honestly, I thought he was okay. Nothing to write home about because this was at a time period where they were just trying everything and everything to make Roman Reigns into being the next top guy. So, I'm going to put it as okay. Let's go next with Roman Reigns. I thought he was good. Not great, but good. And here's why. This comes at a time where they were trying to make him, he was before the Tribal Chief. It was before he was able to really lock in on the Tribal Chief character, turn heel, and become who he is today and what everyone remembers him to being as today. This was a very forced, pushed, down your throat, just kind of Roman Reigns. His in-ring work was very good. His promos were bad because he was pushed on this just nonsensical dialogue. It was just let's knock out a few of these that we know is already pretty just bad. Jinder Mahal should never been WWE champion. They tried to push him because of the India deal, their second largest TV revenue source. We'll go with John Cena. I thought he was good, not great. He was super over at this time with the fan base, but really, he never drew. He wasn't a big draw at this time, although he had some really fun matches with CM Punk. Bray Wyatt, I'll put as good. I thought they could have done more. I really enjoyed his program with Randy Orton. But Luke Harper made that program. If you recall, Luke Harper was the one. He knew going into WrestleMania 35 that Randy was going to turn on Wyatt, and he never trusted him and everything like that. It was a super, super fun storyline, but Bray really wasn't necessarily involved with that. Alberto Del Rio, I'm going to put that as okay. They tried to make him into a big superstar, Mexican superstar, and to me, it just never fit. I thought he was really good in the ring, but I don't know. It just never did anything for me. Kofi Kingston, I'm going to put as okay. He had a title run from WrestleMania 35 where he beat Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan, and then was squashed by Brock Lesnar. But he was never a factor into drawing money or anything like that. He was just a guy. Dean Ambrose, I'm going to put as great, and here's why. This was before he got really, really silly. He was still a serious character. And every single time he stepped into the ring, he was the best match on the card. He was the workhorse. There was a stat in 2016, 2017, whenever he was champion, where he worked the most matches out of anyone that year. Phenomenal champion. I'm going to put The Rock as good. Here's why. I thought that his matches with CM Punk was good, not great. I thought his second match with John Cena at WrestleMania 29 was good, not great. I thought they were like way too much on their finishers. It was good. And this is coming from a Rock fan. I had elbow pads of his as a kid. AJ Styles, I'm going to put as great. He falls in the same category as Dean Ambrose, a.k.a. Jon Moxley, in the sense of he was a guy that was a workhorse. He had phenomenal promos at this time. A great, great run for AJ Styles as WWE Champion. We will go with Seth Rollins as great. His time with the Authority is looked back upon, I don't think, with enough appreciation. He really helped carry that brand, the WWE in general, on both Raw and SmackDown before he tore his ACL at a live event when he did a sunset flip powerbomb to Kane off the top rope. The Authority storyline was horrendous. It was horrible, and you had to suffer getting through it. But whenever Rollins would work in the ring, he always had really good matches. Randy Orton, I will put as good. At this time, he was just kind of a boring heel who just, he reminded me a lot of Triple H in 2003, 2002. I don't know. I just wasn't a fan. Bryan Danielson, I'm going to put as great. And here's why. You had the Yes Movement in 2013, 2014. And then you had his heel Save the Planet 2017 title reign as this just despicable heel. I loved that run, especially in 2017. But his Yes Movement run, you know what? I'm going to put this up as a GOAT because he had two really great all-time rememberable runs. So you got to go GOAT status. Edge, I'm going to put as good. He's more remembered for his world title reigns than his WWE title reigns. But still, you kind of group them in together. But if we're just talking purely WWE title reigns, yes, he had a good one. His first go around, him and Lita drew one of the biggest ratings in Raw history with their live sex celebration. That was fun. But I think he's more remembered for his world title reigns than anything. Batista, kind of the same thing. He had a really good run with John Cena in 2010, where he was the Hollywood heel almost. He was like impersonating The Rock in 2003, which I thought was fun. But he didn't have a very long reign, and it was just, he dropped it at WrestleMania that year to Cena, and then they did the Over the Limit, I think that was his final match. They may have done one at Backlash that year, I'm not for sure, but it was okay. Brock Lesnar, good. Here's why. He worked a part-time schedule. He was never around, and so you didn't get him a lot on TV. And really in this time period, it was not what we got now where it's fun Brock, whether he's a heel, whether he's a babyface. This was just, let me show up, let me do the match, let me get my money, and let me fly out as soon as possible. It was just very through the motion. So I thought it was good. Dominant, but good. John Cena, you got to put him as a GOAT. Here's why. He carried the company during this decade, and he did so a lot of times as WWE Champion. He would win it, lose it, win it, lose it, back and forth, back and forth. He helped carry the company. He got the company through this time period. And if you can't put him as a GOAT, I don't know what we're talking about. Triple H, good. Here's why. He was mostly used on SmackDown during this time period, sometimes on Raw, but he was really winding down. 2010, he was really winding down. Really, he was WWE Champion during this time period in 2016, which I actually liked his title reign because it was actually pretty memorable. The build-up to him and Roman was actually really good, but 2016 was the defining moment, that WrestleMania match of, oh, he's lost a step. And it was like, damn, that sucks. So that's why it's good, not great. Finally, CM Punk. Was it 334 days? Something like that? Come on. He was the greatest in-ring talker at this time, or greatest talker. He was one of the best matches on the card during this time period. He feuded with everyone. His matches with Bryan Danielson, Daniel Bryan was good. Him feuding with Cena and their classic matches was good. Him putting up with Ryback. His heel turn aligning with Paul Heyman. His rivalry with The Rock at the Royal Rumble and Elimination Chamber. his feud with Chris Jericho in 2012, and that Mania match was phenomenal. The build-up, the bringing his alcoholic father into it, phenomenal. So that is my tier list of WWE Champions, as you can see here. So I thought it was pretty fair for what it is. A lot of Hall of Famers. A lot of legit Hall of Famers. Let me know what you think of my tier list down below, and I will see y'all in the next video.